So this is actually my second time trying to film this video, because the first time I filmed it, the camera was out of focus the whole time, which was awesome. So anyway, enjoy the video. The concept of a generation is a very strange one to me. On one end, I think it makes sense to contextualize age gaps. I mean, your parents are typically in one generation while you're in another one, and that makes sense. But other people like to look at generations similar to how they look at astrology. Oh, you're a millennial? That means you must like avocado on toast. When in reality, you can be part of one generation and be your own person. However, back to the first side, it still makes sense that people in one generation will be pretty similarly minded. I mean, they grew up with the same stuff, so it makes sense that they would have some shared interest because of what they've been exposed to, which leads to some very strange things that we can all laugh at. Let's get started. Okay, boomer. Remember that one? I do. It wasn't that long ago that everyone was making fun of boomers because they get a little too nostalgic about their childhood that only they had the privilege of experiencing. They would love to post some great memes on Facebook, such as, "So glad I grew up doing this, not this." Or, "Respect your parents, they passed school without Google." Or, putting your phone away and paying attention to those talking to you, there is an app for that. It's called Respect. Oh! The irony, of course, in them constantly posting and looking at memes like this is that they are doing what they are complaining about. This funny little yellow guy is so right. Kids spend way too much time on their phones. Now, there's not too much more to complain about with boomers, nothing more than what's already been said time and time again. So let's move on to... Gen X is the generation that, in my opinion, has kind of flown under the radar. I feel like the only people who really care about Gen X are the people in Gen X. And oh my god, do they care about the fact that they are in Gen X.
Gen X, rise.
Yep, they absolutely love the fact that they're in Gen X and for some reason despise Gen Z. I think this generation is really self-conscious that no one talks about them, so they really want to drive in the point that they think they're better than us.
Facts about Gen X. We're the last generation to know a world without cell phones.
And they love to remind us constantly of that fact. I was born before you had those little phones. That means I'm better than you. Or what? You didn't get to choose when you were born? No, I didn't. And honestly, if I did have the choice, I would probably choose a time after we invented access to all the information in our pockets.
The last generation to not only use corporal punishment, but it was encouraged. But the best thing about Gen X is that our music was so cool, it's still trending 40 years later.
And oh my, the music. They are so proud of their music. And yeah, it's still good now. The popular stuff, did you know that there was still bad music being made when you were a kid? People don't talk about it anymore because it wasn't immortalized. Whereas today, we live in a day and age where anyone, a single person, can make their own song and post it for everyone to see online. And that's great, but it also means some people are bad at it. However, the difference is, instead of someone in the 80s trying to get their garage band off the ground, but they weren't very good at music and didn't get a record deal, people forgot about it. Whereas today, with TikTok, anyone can post anything for future generations to see, and that's awesome. That's awesome sauce. Hey, that reminds me of... Did you know some people call millennials Gen Y? I didn't. It's kind of crazy. I didn't like doing that. Millennials, huh? Jeez. They can be real cringe. It's kind of the defining feature and what most people identify millennials with. Now, quick side tangent. I actually wrote in the script, I don't think I can do this because I had to look through a lot of millennial cringe to make this video, and
I'm so excited that Taylor Swift gets to be small girl. You just make a little take. Let her be small.
So I just did a thing. And what incarnation could that be, ye might ask? I bought pumpkin chocolate chip muffins.
I struggled. Honestly, hot take? I think Millennial is more cringe than Gen Alpha. I'm sorry, I think it's true. I might walk back that statement in a little bit, but for now I truly believe that. It's the faces and the voices. I don't like it, and why do you want to be treated like a child? You're 30! And they all think they're in Hogwarts. I don't care what house you're in. And oh my god, them talking about ADHD, they all think they have it. They're all self-diagnosed. Newsflash, you can have trouble focusing on something without a disorder. And that links perfectly with my problem with... Now I might be a little biased with Gen Z, because I am one, which might come as a surprise to some people after I posted this TikTok with Crazy Frog in it, because a lot of people associate Crazy Frog with millennials. But I like Crazy Frog, and I'm Gen Z. I feel like Gen Z has the widest spread of people. Because as I was alluding to before, you got the self-diagnosed neurodivergent people who love to get attention by claiming they don't want attention. Reverse psychology. I like it. Now we do have cringe. Thirst traps. They are real cringe. I don't like them, and I don't want to talk about them. We've also got stuff like this, and like this.
Todoroki, this is my mom. Mom, this is my Todoroki. No, wait, no.
Now let's talk about... Now, do you want to hear something a little crazy? Gen Alpha is over. All of the Gen Alphas have come out now because as of 2025, any newborn is part of Gen Beta. Gen Alpha is still very much in that phase of getting a lot of because they're young and people don't like their humor or their jokes. Me being one of them.
Skibbity toilet will be mine, yeah. Oh, I got Rizzy on my mind, yeah.
I don't like their jokes. Skibbity toilet, Gat, Ohio, Grimace Shake. But the thing is, Gen Z still had brain rot. And the cycle will continue. As Gen Alpha gets older, and they look back nostalgically at their old jokes, Gen Beta is going to be talking about Jilly Wee Gilbo or some shit. And all the Gen Alpha is going to be like, oh, Gen Beta brain rot. So cringe. Ignorant to what they used to be. Also for me, Gen Alpha still has that air to them, similar to Gen X, that nobody really cares about them. Yeah, I think they're all pretty proud to be part of Gen Alpha. So once again, I would really like to drive this point in. It doesn't matter what generation you're born in. You can still be your own person. You can be a boomer and still be okay with new technology. You can be Gen X and not hate Gen Z. You can be a millennial and not be that cringe. You can be Gen Z and not have self-diagnosed ADHD. You can be Gen Alpha and not drink Prime. But if you're Gen Beta, that makes you a beta! Gotcha! Don't talk to me until I have my coffee, bitch. I'm done. If you don't like pedophiles, watch this video.